So if you have interest in that, please talk to me. That's just getting started. So it's super exciting. Lots of good stuff going on there. So get that out of the way. So that's great. So we're just going to get right into presentations here and get it going. So I believe our first is Driskill-Smith from Ultrahaptics. All right, guys, come on up. All right, wow, Alex is getting hooked up. Who is here for the first time here at SVVR? Nice, welcome. Sweet. All right, so pretty good? And Carl, want to bring the music down?
Well, hi everybody, I'm Alex Driskill-Smith. I am Ultrahaptics and I lead the team we have here in North America. We opened an office for Ultrahaptics, actually a British company based in England, but we opened an office down the road in Palo Alto about 4 months ago in April. We've got a team out here, actually several of us are out here, maybe you can raise your hands. We've got Chris, Manny, Michael, Vince here in the front, and Adam at the back. We're showing a couple of demos that you can try out afterwards if you haven't tried already. So I'm going to talk about human-machine interaction and the revolution that's going on in that space and how it's going to create truly immersive experiences in VR and AR. This image here is from Meta up the road in San Mateo, the AR company. And their vision of the future with AR is the end of screens. They're essentially building this operating system and environment in AR which are going to be able to interact and consume content as well as control operating systems all in AR without needing the monitors or screens that we see in the offices and homes today. Their vision, I think even this year, is to replace or remove all the monitors in their office with AR headsets, so that all the teams are going to be working there with the headsets on and just interacting with the content that they see projected in front of them in AR. It's really a fascinating thing that's going to happen here, first within the company and then beyond as this spreads around. And it's really part of a vision of the future in which augmented reality is going to be the new computer platform. In the same way that we all carry our smartphones around today, in the future, the vision is that everybody's going to be wearing these AR headsets or AR smart glasses in the future as they reduce in size. This is another image from Microsoft HoloLens with a very similar vision for the future. In this case, they're showing the virtual objects that are being added to the environment down there on the desk, and then also you consume content in AR with the Skype video conferencing system there, just appearing in midair in AR. And ultimately you're not going to be able to tell the difference between what you're seeing virtually and what is actually real. And right now these AR and VR headsets have a resolution of perhaps 2 or 3 years ago.
Sorry about that.
Is that working again?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Right now these AR headsets have typically a resolution of perhaps 2,000 or 3,000 pixels per eye, which is good, but you can still see the pixelation in the AR and VR images. And yet when you look ahead a few years, they're going to get up to 6,000 or 8,000 pixels per eye. And at that point, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between what is real and what is virtual just by looking at things. This new world is also going to bring about a revolution in terms of natural methods for interacting with computers. You're already on the left there, we're all quite familiar with this now. We can give commands to a computer, they can understand our voices. In the middle there, computers are starting to be able to interpret what we're showing on our face. It's something that read the face and any gestures we might make with our eyes. And then also on the right, with the hand gestures, the computers and cameras are able to interpret what we're doing at a really rudimentary level in terms of gestures. There's certain gestures you can make that will be able to control a computer. And so really what this is driving towards is the end of proxy devices. We're going to be able to control computers naturally in the way that we interact with each other, through our voice, through our faces, through our hands. And we're going to be getting rid of ultimately these proxy devices like mice and keyboards, which have really been the way to interact with machines up until now. also driving the future developments is AI. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is really going to drive the future improvements to these systems. So already computers are starting to be able to interpret not just what you're saying, but also the tone of your voice. They're starting, as we saw with the Apple announcement a couple of days ago, they're starting to be able to interpret your facial gestures and the emotions that you're conveying through your face. And then in the future, they're going to be able to interpret what we're doing with our hands much more broadly, not just the simple commands you can do now with gestures, but natural commands, natural gestures that you might make that convey your emotion or an intent. So we can see where this is going and how it's going to become much more natural in the future. But what I've talked about so far is input. How do we convert commands or intent to a machine or a computer? The other half to the revolution that's going on in human-machine interaction is output, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. So as we discussed, we've seen the rise of the voice-based personal assistants that can talk back at you, but they're quickly becoming more human and robotic. And I just wanted to play you a brief clip from the Apple announcement a couple of months ago at WWDC. Let's see if this actually plays loudly enough for you to hear. I think with the book, the audio is not well. Otherwise, I can give a commentary. Three different ways to say sunny. So not everybody is as excited about that as he obviously is. But I think it shows you, the way things are going. They're starting to convey with these computerized voices different emotions and intents. They're just saying the same word in different ways. And I have another example from just 2 days ago, the Apple announcement earlier this week, where they're moving that type of effect into video and facial recognition. We've picked out, there's another Apple SVP just equally excited about how they're interpreting what they're seeing on somebody's face and then moving that into what the output in terms of what they call an emoji, but essentially conveying the intent through now an output that you can then send to somebody through a message. So what about touch? We have a test here. If you look at these two images, can you tell the difference between the two of them? It's actually very hard. It's a very subtle difference. Yeah. That's right. So he said the depressions on the fingers are not there on the right-hand side. If you look on the left-hand image, you can see the depressions on the fingers. The person is actually touching that cup, picking it up, or holding it on the left. But on the right, it's very close, but not actually making contact. But the point is, you can't tell that very easily just from visual information alone. And so our thesis is that you're really going to need this additional dimension of touch and touch output from computer systems in order to be able to interact with virtual objects and feel like you're interacting with them and touching them and manipulating them in this future world with VR and AR. We really need touch to make everything work. The other interesting point about this is, some research from a few years ago, is that we process touch information nearly twice as fast as visual information. So when you see something, it actually takes about a quarter of a second, or 250 milliseconds, to process that and realize that you've seen something and interpret what it is. Audio information gets processed a little faster. Touch information gets processed in about 150 milliseconds, so nearly twice as fast. And so what it means is, as we move to these systems in AR and VR, when you're actually reaching out to see if an object is there and interact with it, you're going to get that that input from the touch, or that output from the touch, much faster than any of the other ones. And so when we can actually reach out and feel objects in AR and VR, it's going to feel a lot more natural if we can actually do that. So what is Ultrahaptics and what do we do? Well, what we do is we enable touch interactions in midair, literally on your bare hand, without you having to wear a glove or hold a hand controller. So it's all about making touch natural for the masses. You don't have to sort of wear anything in particular. And the way we do it is with ultrasound. We have an array of ultrasonic speakers. These are speakers that actually are sold in the millions every year. They're used in the rear fenders of cars when they're measuring the distance to the next car when you're reversing up. They're also used in automatic sliding doors to sense when you're approaching so the doors open automatically. And so all we've done is taken these sort of mass-produced components, put them into an array, and then put a bunch of software on top to control them. And what it does is we're essentially firing these ultrasonic speakers at slightly different times so that they converge on the same point at the same time, at any point in a 3D space. They focus on your hand, and they vibrate the skin on your hand at that point, which in turn vibrates or interacts with the receptors in your hand. It gives you this illusion that you're actually touching and interacting with something. And this, as I say, can be done at any point in a 3D volume. The resolution doesn't change whether you're so close to the array or far away from the array. And we build them in these arrays that you'll see at the back of the room after the talks. This is an array of speakers, and the outer complex, we can actually produce up to 8 different points at a time on one or both of your hands. So we can have, for example, 4 points focused on one hand, 4 points focused on the other, and then we scan them at very high speed, up to about 20,000 times a second. So you can essentially, like an old TV screen, we're rastering across your hand and giving this illusion that you're touching a 3D object, literally in midair, when it's not actually there, so it's just a virtual object. So when the talks are over, we've got a couple of demos we can show you. This is one of them. This is what we call the VR sandbox. This was our very first demo that we did for VR. And what it is that there are 2 different types of object here. There's a sphere and a cube that you can pick up and manipulate. And you can pick them up in these virtual objects, literally lift them up like this and feel like you're holding them. One interesting thing to try when you try it out is to let them land on the plate there and then roll them around on the surface of the plate. The sphere, you really feel it rolling around smoothly under your hand. It feels like and it really shows the accuracy of the placement system, which is less than a millimeter in terms of placement accuracy. And then you can compare that with the cube, which as you roll it around, you actually feel the edges rolling and sort of turning under you, so you can tell the difference between these 2 objects. You can also pick them both up, you can juggle them, you can stack them up. And then the most interesting thing that we only discovered 6 months ago is that when you actually pick one of these objects up and then flip your hand over so that it's in your palm, and this is a virtual object, right? And the haptics are coming from below, projecting onto the back of your hand. The amazing thing in VR is that when you're totally immersed, if you've been immersed in that for a few minutes, if you're hearing the audio, you're seeing the visuals, you're feeling the haptics, your brain is seeing the ball in your palm, the haptics are coming from below, and then you're feeling something, but your brain is telling you you're feeling it in your palm. And it's really quite extraordinary that you can feel this area of the haptics and not in your palm at that instance. So some amazing things happen in VR, and actually gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of placement of these arrays. They don't necessarily have to be pointing in the direction where the object is. So give that one a go. And then the other demo we have at the back, we've got 2 setups. This is more of a VR immersive experience. This is what we call the spells demo. This is you take on the persona of a wizard. You get to pick up and collect 3 different spells and then cast them. And one of them is a lightning spell which you cast from your hand. So you can literally feel these lightning bolts emanating from your palm, running up your fingers and out, and they go hit objects and destroy them. There's also, interestingly, a fire spell where you literally you see the fire, you feel this haptic effect where we're trying to simulate fire. And again, the amazing thing is when you're immersed in this environment for a few minutes, many people will start to feel heat in their hands. Even though we're not actually generating heat, we are, again, it's all part of this immersion, the brain filling in these effects that are not actually there. So I want to show you one more video here. This is some recent work we did with Dell and Meta and Nike. This was announced at Dell World back in May this year. This was a really cool project that Dell did to integrate various technologies together. What they envisage an AR workspace, immersive workspace in the future. And what they've done is combine 4 different technologies together. One is a Dell Canvas tablet. It's a 27-inch tablet that you have on a desk. It's for creative design professionals where they can do detailed design work with a stylus. And then typically it's combined with a couple of monitors in front of them. And so the concept is you do the detailed design work, and then you can actually visualize what you've designed on the screens in front of you. Well, in this implementation, though, they've replaced the screens with a Meta headset. And so as you do the design work, and then you pull it up, and then seamlessly you can see it in midair, in AR, and you can see the actual 3-dimensional object that you've designed. And then they also combine it with voice input, so you can control the system with voice. And they also combine it with our technology from Ultrahaptics, where you can actually feel the objects and feel the controls in midair. And it really makes for a quite amazing experience. And as you watch the video in a moment, you'll be able to see the designs that are coming up into AR. You can actually, it's hard to show in a video, but the user can actually feel the shoe, in this case, the Nike shoe. The user can resize it and feel the gimbals as they sort of manipulate the object. You can select different control panels and again, all feel that. So it really makes it a really natural design experience. So let me play the video and then you can hear some of the audio, but at least you're going to be able to see the visual.
It starts with a question. Followed by an idea on how to make things simpler, better, or more beautiful.
Approximate shape from sketches.
But it's not just what it looks like.
Clustering sequence.
It's how it works. Which means trying. Failing and trying again. To be a designer means not being bound by the limits of your tools, but instead
Expand box.
being inspired by them.
Show me over.
So that you can focus on what only you can do. Being creative. Being curious. And being critical. Exploring the union between function and form. Until suddenly you know.
Optimize cushion power for terrain. That's it.
And when you're ready to share your work, make sure everyone can see that the world is a little simpler, better, and more beautiful.
So it's a pretty cool concept that was played in the keynote at Dell World a couple of months ago. And literally all the things that you see them doing in midair, you can actually feel as you do it. And we get a lot of questions when people see that. Is that actually real? Is that what it looks like? And it looks like it's sort of Hollywood graphics that are projected there in midair. And I can assure you it is actually real. And when we went to see it in Austin at Dell, I mean, it looks like that in the headset. It feels like that. The Meta guys who were there with me were actually taking videos through the headset to prove to the world that's actually what it looks like. So it's pretty cool. And this is just one example of how you can apply this in the case of a shoe design, but this can be applied to any kind of creative design experience, whether it's designing a car or architectural design, or sort of visualizing data sets. It's really sort of extendable to any of these use cases. So that was an exciting project that we were doing recently. So lastly, I just wanted to return back to emotions and how this can be mediated through mid-air haptics. We have an academic program at the company where we have 30 or 40 kits of ours in the hands of leading research groups around the world. And they're doing all sorts of fascinating stuff with this technology. One of these research groups at the University of Sussex in England doing some interesting work on actually delivering emotions and different emotions through how they deliver the haptics to the hand. So the colors there signify different effects that they're creating with the haptics, and then they're asking people what do they feel as a result of experiencing this haptics. So some of them, say on the bottom right, are more intense feelings or even threatening. The other ones up the top are more sort of active sensations, and then sort of in the middle you've got more neutral sensations. You can sort of experience the whole gamut of sort of exciting to negative emotions, and it can all be conveyed through these haptics. And there's one more video.
The way that he touches and embraces, he gives every type of human emotion. Our research has shown that the gentle touch around the edge of the hand suggests negative emotions, while a touch around the index finger is positive. We have demonstrated that there is a non-arbitrary mapping between emotion and haptic stimulation, so we can now begin to enhance the way we express our feelings through technology.
It's really interesting, and it's not just about where you place the haptics on the hand, it's also the frequency we use to modulate it. At different frequencies, the haptics feel different. It's also about how we trace them around the hand. And this combination of multiple parameters can really deliver these different ranges of emotions. And we really envisage a future where all of these effects, whether it's voice output, whether it's visual output from the computer, as well as touch output from these machines, really will deliver these truly immersive experiences where they convey not just the things we know now, but also emotions, and be able to have sort of social experiences through VR and AR, and really feel part of the natural world. So we're really excited to be a part of this future. There's so much going on here, and it's putting all this together that's really going to transform these AR platforms and machines and computers in the coming years. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to
All right, next up, we have Yuhjtman from the TPCast crew going to come up and get set up here. All right, we got a chance to try TPCast actually earlier today, and it was fascinating. I was pleasantly impressed by what TPCast offers, so I'm convinced. I tried to break it, and I have to try very hard to get it broken. It's very good. All right, so yeah. All right, we're trying to get set up. Do we have any questions about virtual reality things I can answer while this is getting worked out? Anything? Ask me anything.
That TechCrunch article 2 weeks ago.
What's that? The Dell visor? No, I have not. I've not tried the Windows stuff yet, actually. I've just seen it. I've had put my hands on it. Limited amount of time. I haven't put my eyes in it. So unfortunately, no. But sometime soon, I'm sure. What was that? Someone said something else. Uh-oh. Looks like it's too low. All right, ready? All right, let's give a warm-up melody.
That to start by thanking Bruce for the next introduction, and also I thank the SVVR group for hosting us here today. We are very excited to share the technology with you guys and go about wireless. So we are talking about immersive technology, immersive experience. So it comes with also no wires. The wires kind of limit the experience, and that's where you can see the mission and vision going forward. Every headset become wireless. So that's what TPCast is about, wireless. So if you look at the headsets today, there is today different types, and the TPCast is focused on the the ones that require the high resolution, the high CPU, and those that are connected to the PC server, and they need to show high quality, high resolution. So you have to take the HTC Vive and the Rift from Oculus. Those are the two most popular in the market, and those two have been addressed by TPCast as we speak. And there's the Microsoft team coming with a very nice headset that will be high resolution, and that will come by the end of the year as well. So those are the markets we are addressing as we start. And as we go forward, there's other things to develop, since the specs will be changing and things will get more advanced. So TPCast is the leader in the wireless ER in terms of when we are talking about the PC server coming behind the technology. The challenge is not easy. We are talking about the 2K video at 90 frames per second, and that to transfer that data, all that data over wireless is not trivial. And TPCast has done that adapter. We are already 6 to 8 months shipping the product in China. The product was announced and pre-order in Europe, and our goal is to announce by the end of this month also the US version, where we start getting pre-orders and shipping very soon after. So the idea is that in terms of HTC Vive, the product is ready, and we are kind of now preparing to start shipping, and we have more products following that. Again, we are the first one to do it commercially. There's many others, demos, and people trying proof of concept. It's not proof of concept, and we'll be able to demo it here today. So whoever wants to try the demo here, and we'll give a system also for the Silicon Valley virtual reality group, so they can use it here to show demos for people. Okay, so when we are looking at the technology, we have three components. So there's on top of the headset, we have the receiver. The receiver function is to accept the signal from the transmitter and display that on the HMD, which is the graphic display. And that's kind of the top one that you see there on the slide. Then in the center you can see the transmitter. That ties into the cables of the HTC Vive, the same way you are connected to the HMD, now you connect to that transmitter. The transmitter is responsible to transmit all the data. Again, it's 2K video at 90 frames per second, and there's no loss. It's kind of lossless, and you can see the video should be as is displayed by the HMD. Then the last but not least part is the power module. The power module is to power the wireless equipment and also the HMD. So you need to power all that stuff because there's no power anymore. You want to be wireless. So we have a power module that can last up to 5 hours of operation. You can have batteries for backup and use that as well. So it's very easy to do. So in terms of the specs, the idea is to provide the same experience like we have the wire behind it. So it's less than 2 millisecond latency, which is not noticeable, 90 frames per second, 2K video, so everything is as the same with the wire. So we have seen for people kind of, once they start using it, they are looking for the cable, they are kind of moving, where's the cable? So you see it here as well. It's kind of, so you should be careful not to touch the cable. So that's kind of the nice thing about it. In terms of our roadmap on things that we are going to come going forward. So we are talking about coming now for the HTC Vive in the consumer edition, which is for a single user. We'll come up with the same model for the Oculus, the Rift, and also same for the Microsoft MR. It will be a bit better resolution, and that will come by the end of the year. Then comes the business edition. The business edition comes with support up to 12 people. That's the spec that we are putting in front of us now. It's a new challenge. We provide more features, and that will come to support the oil and gas industry, the healthcare, industrial, you name it. There will be automotive, aerospace. So there's many markets that are looking for wireless ER, and and that's what we are going to address with the business edition. Then, which is the next year's coming, we are talking about higher resolution. We are talking about 3K coming by the end of the year, 4K early next year, and 8K. And so that kind of roadmap is very hard to achieve, and that's kind of what we see in front of us. So the inside-out tracking will change the game a bit. Today you have the lighthouse that will give you the tracking and the location. So the inside-out tracking will generate more data coming. Now, today the PC is transmitting all the data to the HMD, but as we go for inside-out, the HMD will start transmitting video back for the server to process. So that becomes now a very big requirement, and that's something to resolve as well. The last but not least was the cloud-based solution. So we'll be taking that as well as we go forward, and we'll be addressing that. So let's go. Okay, so the wireless display technology is what we are looking at, and I'll be here all day if you have any questions, and we'll have the demo there if you want to try. Okay, thank you. Questions? Later. Yes, right.
How many users do you have in the same space?
The consumer edition, we are going to have one user. Now, it depends on how close they are, and there will not be interference, but in general you can have, it depends on the distance and so forth. So at this point, the spec is one. The business edition, we'll be able to do up to 12, so that's a different program. Any others? Okay. Thank you.
All right, I think the folks at PiMax, the presentations have a video, so I gotta come and set that up. In the meantime, I think someone had a question about the TechCrunch article. Is that the question?
Yeah.
It's about the VR cycle dead article. Is that the?
VR dead?
Oh my God. So, yeah, no one told us. I think repeatedly TechCrunch has proven that they do not understand virtual reality. They keep talking about the industry in comparison to web and mobile. Like, you know, industries with billions of users that are available when the VR total table market is in, I don't know, single-digit millions right now. So that's weird and straight out, almost ready. So I think that's always weird. I think they've proven in the way, the language they use, that's, I'll get more on this later. I think the video is ready. I can go on this for a little while though. Believe me. All right, ready?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Robbie from PiMax. The PiMax team goes try to build the highest experience VR headsets. So last year we built the world first 4K VR, and this year we upgrade to 8K VR. That means 4K bias, and also with the 200 field of view. We are going to kickstart a campaign next year or next week. So here I want to show you some video to get the overview of these handsets.
Kickstarter video. The video is volume.
Introducing PiMax 8K VR. When you put on a conventional VR headset, the first thing you notice is that your vision is narrow and surrounded by darkness. But with our headset's 200 degrees of view, you get an expansive, natural view of the virtual world. So you are free to move your eyes and use your peripheral vision to own every corner and defeat every enemy.
Field of view was everything that I've been wanting in virtual reality. I thought that was like being in VR, and this one is like looking through like a tiny binoculars.
The view this wide requires maximum clarity, so we're using a 4K display for each eye, totaling over 60 million pixels, more than 6 times the resolution of current VR headsets.
It was amazing. I couldn't see any pixels. I could read all the text, like kind of far away, no problem.
We worked hard to make PiMax 8K VR a smooth experience, with a high refresh rate and low latency, even on modest hardware. To deliver a complete VR experience, PiMax 8K VR supports full positional tracking and includes 2 positionally tracked controllers, so you can pick up objects and move weapons. We've also built in speakers to bring realistic sound to your experience, and even added optional eye tracking and hand motion support. This isn't yet another VR hardware product. We're committed to building a complete and open VR system that's fully compatible with mainstream VR content platforms and existing accessories. Our goal is to make VR better for everyone. So we are collaborating with industry partners to foster a culture of open innovation in the global VR community. And we've already published our open SDK, so you can create your own projects for 8K VR. We aren't new to VR. We have already delivered over 30,000 of our PiMax 4K headsets in less than 6 months. We've built close relationships with manufacturing partners. I've been traveling around the world demoing our new 8K headset. I'm getting feedback from researchers, gamers, and developers to make sure that we're building a VR system that you love. And we're already working with partners like Disney to take VR beyond the home. By designing our products with these amazing experiences in mind, we make sure that they're more than capable of delivering a world-class home VR experience.
We are very excited to launch our new VR headset on Kickstarter. We are looking for friends and partners to support us to make VR brand new. Like us and get our 8K VR headset and keep in touch with us to share your VR dreams. Thank you for your support. For 8K VR, we also introduce the module design as a new design concept as for the next generation. So I will show you another video to today we put 2 units AKVR. One is AK and the other one is 5K. 5K with the animation tracking. So I would like to show you demos for those VR. Now here is the technical specification. The field of view is 200 and then the resolution is 4K PiMax with 16 megapixels. And we use the customized low persistence display. So the MTP latency will below 15. And the refresh rate currently we are running 90 Hz PiMax. And we can boost to double field refresh rate with green rubber technology. And we use DP plus USB, and we support multiple tracking system, position tracking. Yeah, I'll show you. We're compatible with the SVVR Lighthouse, and also we have the inside tracking, inside our tracking module. So when you enable the latest tracking system. So we also compatible with all of Steam VR games and OS VR. Yes. Yeah, that's all. Please come to here to show you dance. Thank you.
All right, that wraps up the presentation except for last one more. Yes, Brian. Yes, we do have one more presentation. Internal SVVR. That's going to be awesome. So Brian's going to come in, set up, watch that. All right, getting picked up. Any other questions about VR? Generic questions about virtual reality? Shoot them while they get picked up. Go. Is it dead? No! No, it's not dead. Jeez, go to the PSVR forum for 5 minutes. Just ask yourself if it's dead. People are excited, man. They're playing Star Trek, playing Farpoint. It's ridiculous. People are trolling Steam every day for the next app. This community's on fire for content. So we're not dead. And with that, take it away, Brian.
The last guy between you and trying all of these demos. So I'll make this quick. No, but so, my name is Brian, for you guys who haven't met me. I'm the developer relations and community manager for SVVR. And just a couple weeks ago, I was in Shanghai for a global VR hackathon. Any of you guys been to Shanghai before? Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. It was my first time, and it was an amazing experience. So VR Core, basically, I would say is very similar to what we are doing here at SVVR, but in China. And so they hosted hackathons throughout the world, and they picked a bunch of teams to basically participate, and then we were at the finals. We were invited to come to the finals of their global hackathon. So this was the team that was sent on behalf of SVVR.
John here?
John's here. All right. So John Shaughnessy. Yeah, he was part of the team, and then Coy, who I don't think is here, was the other clerk. So yes, it was 3 of us. This is us landing after an 11-hour flight, which actually went pretty well, all things considered, international travel. So first day we landed, we had time to check out cool stuff. So this is one of them. It's actually right next to a mall, which was pretty interesting. We found a Salvador Dali, pretty awesome sculpture out in the middle of nowhere, and of course the head of Smog, which of course I had to right. So getting there, I mean, it was hot and humid weather. Walking around was pretty warm, but this is us during the first day. And so while this is playing, a little backstory. So the hackathon itself was over the course of 3 days. Actually, technically 2. It was a 48-hour hackathon. And so yes, we had time to walk around, and of course, we went from hot and humid to Yeah, flash storm. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. Yeah, so that was quite the experience. You know, we're hot and sweaty, and then all of a sudden start pouring rain. But hey, that's Shanghai for you, right? All right, so the venue took place, or the hackathon took place at a venue called Bigger Old Dock. Now, when we were sent emails about this place, it was mentioned as Bigger Old Duck. So we were wondering, like, okay, well, what's the theme behind this place? So there's going to be ducks everywhere, but it ended up being Old Dock. So the actual location is kind of designed to look kind of like an old dock, which is cool. So we arrived, fresh and ready after coming by, and then we took pictures. Yeah, we're pretty awesome. Yeah, so Bigger Old Dock is actually a large co-working space. So yeah, a few companies that were there. These guys that are behind the glass. So you can see we're pretty stocked with some nice amenities. And they have this at the floor, which we were dying to figure out who was using it and how could we use it. It was a really cool racing apparatus, but I think it was just for show, unfortunately. I think their company's called Code 51, and yeah, they work out of that location. So you get down, settle down, and to give an overview, so there were 8 teams, 6 from 6 countries. So it's Germany, Austria, Singapore, New Zealand, China, and then us. And everybody was top-notch. Everybody was great at developing, creating software. So when we arrived, everybody had their own piece of tech to kind of utilize. So initially, we looked at the tech that they were providing, and we decided, oh, we're going to pick this. So what we really wanted to do was eye tracking. So we picked the eye tracking, but the funny thing was we arrived, and we realized that they told us that it was going to be a raffle. So it wasn't up to us to decide what we were going to use. And we ended up picking eye tracking anyways. So it worked out really well. So this is a bunch of people getting set up. And this is the eye tracking technology that we were using by Simon Benson. It's called the A-Glass. So it basically plugs right into the Vive and enables eye tracking. It's really awesome stuff. We actually have one somewhere here, but it's here. And so, of course, we, typical Silicon Valley fashion, broke into our ideation phase, coming up with our experience. So unfortunately, I didn't save over the pitch deck that we had to show at the end of the hackathon, but basically, our idea was, the theme was numbers, and we had to create something around that theme. And so we decided to create a puzzle experience that had both binary puzzles that you have to solve, and then Calder puzzles, which were represented by what we call totems that had different numbers. So you would have like a solution on the wall, and then you'd have to find the corresponding totems to kind of solve this equation. So this is us getting set up with the A-Glass, which was actually really, really great to work with. And of course, lots of downtime, so little sleep in between. People kind of crashing at the location, so you have the option to sleep there. But me being me, I was like, I gotta get a room. So this is a little footage of our experience, which we're planning to have here relatively soon. So the idea behind this is your eyes are actually, if you can notice, your eyes will actually select the blocks. So you're not selecting with the controller, your eyes are actually being tracked. And so you would select things with your eyes, and then you would interact with your controller. Hopefully I'll have this running soon so you guys can experience it firsthand, but it's actually something to experience. It's oddly intuitive to select things with your eyes. Makes sense, but in VR it works really well. So of course, after 48 hours or so of hacking, we had to come together and muster enough strength to pitch what we were trying to make, which we all managed to do. So we got up in front of everybody else. We had a bunch of judges from different companies. We had HTC, Lenovo, Usense, Simon Benson. And yeah, basically all the teams came together to pitch at the end, and all the judges asked us questions about what we were trying to make. And so, of course, this was the period where the judges came and tried each of our experiences. So that took, outside of maybe 6 to 8 hours. So I'll be talking about some of the other experiences pretty soon, but this is something interesting to ask, or to show. I'm sure there are questions of why there's a vibe checker at that bottom. And I have a video about that later. Actually, it's right now. All right, so this is an experience from the New Zealand team. The idea behind it is you are a jewelry thief breaking into a store and trying to steal jewels. And the idea is you are using the tracker to break these cases that have the jewels, and you have to use the controller to crawl on the ground. So he's actually emulating crawling on the ground because there are lasers above him that would sound off the alarm if he got caught. So their experience recorded very well. The water bottle, I think, emulated the bat. So you would have a bat to crack the cases. So they were looking for a bat, I think, to buy in Shanghai, but they couldn't. So they had to use a water bottle. And then this is kind of the other half. So he's under the table, and there's a it's like a keypad that you have to solve, but it's an actual math. It's like it's an actual math problem you have to solve. And this is the other experience. So this is created by a team called Chestar, based in China. And so they drew, before I continue, so the previous team, obviously the tech they drew was live trackers, so they had to use live trackers. So this team had to use the uSense Fingo. So if you guys don't know, it's very similar to the Leap Motion, it's hand tracking. And so what I can explain here is the idea behind this experience is, just like everything else, it's based on numbers. So you basically have these two boxes and it tracks, this represents 0, this represents 5. And so it's a multiplier game. And so the goal is both you and your opponent who sits across from you have to put your hands into these boxes, and you have to guess the total of what your opponent has and you have. And so you can see right here, basically he's choosing the number that he thinks is going to be the total of their combined efforts. And if he's correct, he gets to slap the other person. Not in real life, but in the experience. So this was really fun to watch. Yeah, I think the other guy gets wrecked pretty hard. So we had a good time, and we crunched it, and we ended up placing 3rd. So we were very, very happy. We went into it just excited that number 1 we were going to Shanghai, and number 2 we're going to be surrounded by a bunch of other people that were developing VR. It was everybody. I can't stress enough how good everybody was at this hackathon. Like every single person not only delivered, but it was good. Like there are a few that I think got some potential business deals out of this, but it was great. The competition was rough. Oh yeah, I have action lines, So yes, and this was the name of our team, which I'm not sure who decided on that, but yeah. I think it was Tom. And of course, they had to put it and make it official on a little certificate. So this is my crowning achievement, is just seeing this written on an official document. So yes, Brent's glad. All right, so overall, it was a great experience. I mean, we met many people across the globe, very fantastic, passionate about VR, passionate about developing for VR. I just noticed that I captured him eating. I think he knew I was taking a picture. But yeah, it was great. We made some really good friends along the way, and overall, I just want to say, thanks to VR Card for putting this together. I mean, this is a fantastic idea of an event. So hopefully we'll do it again next year. And yeah, it was fantastic. So far right, we have Kevin, who was the representative for 7 in Benson, and then Rebecca, who's the president of VR Core. And so yeah, overall, it was great. We had a great time. Thank you. So of course I came back and I bought some Pocky. That's lychee flavored, so if you guys haven't help yourself out. Any questions? All right.
Brian, what was the first and second?
So the first place was the slapping. I can see why. And second place was the New Zealand team with their experience. The other mentionable, so the Berlin team, or the Germany team, they had an experience where you use, it was similar to, it was an asynchronous multiplayer game where one person holds the live tracker and the other person's in the HMD, and they both see different things. So the person that's holding the tracker has the monitor facing them. So the person inside has to tell the person holding the tracker, who I believe is controlling them, like where to turn, which direction to turn, and the other person has a different set of directions. So it was a really cool experience. And then we had another experience from Singapore where they used the hand tracker, or sorry, the Usense Fingo basically was like a synthesizer for VR, so you'd be able to create music while you're in VR using hand trackers. So lots of cool stuff. All right, well, if that's it, then I think it's demo time. Oh, community announcements.
Awesome. So real quick, just about demo time. If you have an announcement that you want to make, community, let's keep it under 30 seconds. Just real quick. Slap people with knowledge. Let's go forth.
Is VR dead?
Not dead! Not dead!
I was just asking.
Alright, so I'm Chris Perry. I'm from Samsung. We make stuff like this. We also make the Gear VR. But there's, so what? It crashed? Well, that's Microsoft. No, it's Microsoft. What do you want from me? Yeah, restart. Control, delete when in doubt. Just out of curiosity, I know you're all here for VR. How many are into playing regular, just 2D games on your phones? All right, a couple of you. That's kind of cool. All right, yeah. I play like a couple, maybe a couple. So, there's playing 2D games on your phone. That's all cool and groovy, and and of course email, all this stuff. And then there's VR. I know you guys are into VR because you're here. But they don't go together until tomorrow. So, the announcement is we have this application called PhoneCast. It's already in the Oculus Store for the Gear VR. So if you were to download it now and use it, what it does is it has a series of whitelisted applications. They're mostly video streaming, like Netflix or Crackle or NFL and a bunch of other things. But tomorrow, around 10 o'clock a.m. or something like that, we're going to release a new version that has a labs section that instead of being whitelisted, it's blacklisted, which means you can play anything you want except certain apps. So what's cool about this is you can actually be in a VR environment and play your 2D games in VR on the Gear VR. Now, that's cool. I'm happy about that. Because, I like to play games. I don't like to have to hold this thing. Plus, it's working here. That's awesome. But the other cool thing that nobody thought about, and I discovered this when I was doing QA tests on the application, is I wonder if I was to load up an AR app in VR. AR Core was released. I have an app. I wonder if it would work. It does! Oh my god! I can be in VR with AR and VR. I went too deep. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, because it's blacklisted, we didn't check. So, fine, go do it. We don't care. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, download this app. And then go grab Big Signal Card. They did the first AR Core app, right? They did that molecule viewing thing, right? They got a couple other ones haven't been released yet. But yeah, that one's out there. So hit that. So you can get the Gear VR, go in here, you're in VR, load up a 2D app in VR that's doing AR in VR with the 2D. Yeah. But it's cool. That's all I got for you. So check it out, enjoy it, tell your friends, tell your dog, whatever.
It's all about those Samsung hacks. I love it. All right, everyone else, quick, come, go.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing demos of the Goblin. This one on sale after Gamescom. It's about 2 weeks old. Yeah, standalone all-in-one VR for $269. Everyone who likes VR should try this. You can give demos to your friends without having to take your phone out, ruin the battery. You don't need a PC. And then I have a prototype here, which is going to go on sale sometime in the next 6 months. And this is 6 off. This is inside-out tracking, and this will be available for a price that we haven't quite determined yet. But I have this as well, so come by. I'll be up here somewhere.
Nice, exciting, all-in-one era is upon us. Awesome, come on up. Yep.
So I'm Eva from ARVR Women and Allies, and I have a very active Facebook group that focuses on diversity, and I don't know if you ladies are a part of it, but I see that we don't have that many ladies here. So it's welcome for men and women, and so yeah, join it today.
Thank you. Is that it? Cool? Oh, Carl, are you done crashing? Oh my god. Alright, very good. And please. It's gonna do it. It's totally thinking about it. No. Oh, it's searching.
Alright, forget it. We're open for co-working. I have a slide about it that you can't see, but we're open for co-working. We've made upstairs much nicer. It gets a little nicer every day. We have some great people coming by, a lot more people coming through, and we've got great new technology getting more every day. Cool things like the TPCast as part of our equipment library. If you're in the industry, if you want to be in the industry, if you're looking for a place to hunker down, we have dedicated desks, floating desks, and we're also doing a day rate. So reach out to anyone at SVVR, myself, Matt O'Brien, if you're interested. Yeah, we'd love to have anyone in the community working together. Together we are stronger. So join us.
It's demo time. Let's get these chairs cleared and try some stuff. We have PiMax, TPCast, video action all-in-one there. We have Ultrahaptics in the back. We have demos on the out area where the food is as well. So check it out, mingle, start something great.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. I feel it. Okay. Oh, touch this. Okay. Wow. It feels so I really feel it. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Yeah. I want to do this in real life. I want to have this power. I want to shove this